Hello, welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager, the one and only Kevin Jean. And Kevin, we got a good show today, brother.
We do. We've got Mr. Sam Rayburn himself.
Yeah, we're gonna get some inside info. Hopefully, I don't know how much info Albert Collins is going to give us today because he's fishing this B.A.S.S. Open, but. Anybody that'll kind of give us a clue what's going on, it's going to be Albert.
No, there's no doubt about it. And Albert is supposed to be on the water. My understanding, he is practicing today.
Right.
So he is going to give us a live update from the water practicing for the Open. So it'd be great to talk to him, kind of hear him, how he breaks the lake down.
Yep, we're going to do that. We'll have Albert today. Also, we got B.A.S.S. results from this past week at Lake St. Clair. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got live FLW championship coverage going on. Got it on my computer right here. We'll give you up-to-date coverage, what's happening with that. Big fish caught. Kevin informed me that the big fish was caught on Toledo Bend this past weekend. Upcoming events coming to a lake near you pretty quick. So, it's here we are. End of August, basically. September is when a lot of your championships take place. There's 2 or 3 fall open tournaments that you can get in. That we'll definitely give you insight on those and where they're located. And if you want to, because a lot of guys, have gotten where they fish into the fall more than they used to. Kevin, everybody's not just headed for the woods anymore.
No, the fishing in the fall has been so good down here in these neck of the woods that everybody's real excited about the fall fishing around here. So they're not as anxious to get to the woods as they used to be.
Right. Plus, it's been so hot normally in the woods this time of year. You really don't want to be out there anyway. No. And you guys that are putting out that corn, I'm just going to clue you in. You're feeding the hogs. You're not really feeding the deer right now. Okay. Don't feed them hogs. But anyway, real quick, Kevin, we got 3 sponsors: the Boat Shop out of Shreveport. We got 3J's 4-Way, and our newest sponsor, Pride Rods. Kevin, tell us about the Boat Shop.
The Boat Shop. Mr. Raymond Kidd and his staff take great pride in keeping your boat and motor performing at its best. A certified Yamaha dealer and full support Garmin dealer, offering the best in electronics and the new Garmin trolling motor. Also offer one of the best aluminums made, the Sea Arc. So stop by 2410 Sanford Avenue in Shreveport and let the Boat Shop take care of all your boating needs. Give them a call at 318-402-0399 or go to shreveportboatshop.com.
There's another place right here in central Louisiana, just south of Natchitoches. A lot of people don't even know about. I had a guy call me the other day, hey, where can I find this? Matter of fact, he was looking for some V&M product. And I said, well, there's a store just south of Natchitoches called 3J's 4-Way. Inside that store is Cypress Knee Outdoors. And that is where the hunting and fishing side of Cypress Knee, that's where all their stuff is located. They got everything from Strike King, V&M, all top name brands, Spro, you name it, they got it for the fishing world. They even got the crappie jigs, whatever you need, from Bobby Garland to whatever. They got everything you could want for fishing. Now, also, all you guys getting ready for hunting season, they got a huge selection of guns. You can buy guns on site. Need a new shotgun for dove season coming up here in another week and a half. Need ammo? Need some shotgun shells? They got that too. They got everything you need for hunting. They got deer feeders, deer stands, climbers, you name it, they've got it. So, and if you need deer corn, those of you who want to start feeding, like some of you are already doing, John Abraham's got plenty of deer corn down there in stock. Maybe you want rice bran, he's got that as well. So check out 3J's 4-Way, Cypress, Louisiana, located right off exit 127 off I-49. So make sure you check that out or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT, 318-238-HUNT, and ask for whatever product you're looking for. See if they carry it and make that short trip just south of Natchitoches.
All right, Pride Rods, American made and custom built here in here in Montgomery, Texas. The finest rods ever made by Mr. Billy Kistler himself. Constructed with the finest North Fork composite blank by Mr. Gary Loomis. They carry all your freshwater and saltwater application for spinning and casting rods. Pride rods, they definitely pass the eye test, but they surpass the test of performance even more. Stop by your local tackle store and pick up one, or simply ask about Pride Rods. You can also go online at priderods.com or call 832-418-6040 or 936-697-4149.
And on the phone with us, we've got one of the legends of Sam Rayburn, East Texas, Toledo Bend, a guy that I've donated a lot of money to. I might as well written checks out to Albert personally, because I feel like that's what I do when I fish against him. I'm just paying him. But anyway, Albert, how you doing, buddy?
Good, you?
I'm doing great, man. Kevin's right here beside me. Kevin Jean with V&M, and we want to talk. We want to talk to you about the upcoming Open. What's taking place? What are you expecting? We need all your GPS coordinates, so just a little bit of everything.
There's not enough hours in the day to get the GPS coordinates off that boat from Sam Rayburn.
Or enough money probably to get them off.
That's true too. That's true.
There's 3 or 4 on there anyhow.
There you go,
Mr. Albert. Mr. Albert, we know you're on the water today, and we won't keep you very long. We just kind of want to pick your brain here. We know Sam Rayburn's been fishing a little tough. I know, looking at the ABA weights from last weekend, how tough it's fishing. Is it starting to get any better? What's your outlook here for that second week of September when the Open rolls around?
Well, a lot of it's going to depend on what happens with the weather, I think.
Yeah.
That hurricanes and all that stuff coming in. If we get a bunch of rain, I feel like it's going to change it. I don't know if it's going to. I'm not quite sure how it's going to change it, but it should change it. It's still, to me, it's still fishing tough. I mean, I'm out here today and I'm looking at just some oddball stuff, and I haven't had a bite. But I'm trying to push my time limit a little bit early. I think on them being where I'm looking at. So. But I don't know, man. If we get a bunch of rain and the lake starts coming back up, I got a feeling for the Open it's going to be a whole lot of shallower water stuff. The grass and stuff. I think it's going to be the biggest player then.
Well, this past weekend, you and I fished against each other in ABA. And I tried to stay deep, something I'm not used to doing, but I'm trying to get better at that. I had enough discipline about myself to make myself stay out there, and I had 3 or 4 good bites. I just didn't get in a boat. But turns out my instincts to go shallow for that day were probably correct because there were some guys that had a grass bite that I probably could at least got a good limit off of, and I swung for the fence, and it just didn't happen.
Right. Yeah, and I did the same thing. I spent a lot of time out deep, looking out deep. You catch, when you go out looking and messing around, you'll catch 1 or 2. And here a few weeks ago, I caught a big one out there deep, and I'm like, man, it's fixing to happen. They're fixing to get out here, and I'm going to start catching them really good. But it just seems like it's just teasing me, You catch just enough to keep you thinking it's fixing to happen, and then you waste about half the day trying to make it work, and it's just I can't make it work steady, constantly.
Right.
Well, the good thing about that is having the shallow bite and with the hydrilla. So coming up for the Open, you have the deep bite. People are going to do it. A lot of the field will be doing the deep bite. You have the hydrilla growing. You have a little bit of a frog bite starting. So people are going to really spread out.
They are.
In your opinion, is this going to be a tournament that's won with one technique or mixing the shallow and the deep together?
You're going to be fishing. You're going to be fishing some shallow water. I feel like whoever wins, it's going to be fishing some shallow water bites. If it's cloudy and early, and they're going to be fishing the deeper edges of the grass, and they're going to be fishing some brush piles or something offshore too.
So in three,
it's going to take a combination of all 3 things to win it.
Yeah, that was my. So in 3 days, they're going to have to do a combination of all.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, I would believe that just based off my experience a couple of weeks ago or last week over there. It just seemed like it's more of a trash fishing tournament right now going on. You can catch them on 4 or 5 different baits. I mean, there's no one thing that you can just zero in on necessarily and catch fish, can you?
No, there's not. It kind of goes back to like, I know you joke with your buddies and this and that. You pick a different bait up, and you make 2 or 3 casts, you catch a fish, you say, well, I might as well lay this one down.
Yeah.
Because I've caught fish this one's going to catch.
Exactly.
It is. I really think it's going to be a junk fishing deal more so than anything, unless somebody has 1 or 2 of those little perfect spots that the fish have just, for some reason, miraculously went to. And I just don't. I don't have them. I don't see it.
Now, Albert, of course, we're still basically 2 weeks out from this event. Even with the hurricanes coming through middle of the week this week here, Wednesday, Thursday, there's still plenty of time for the lake to settle back down again between that. Now, what will turn those fish on? Sometimes we got a good cold front that'll come down that first week and a half of September. That a lot of times that'll cool the water down a little bit and be enough to turn these fish on, won't it?
A lot of times it will, and even if we don't get the cold front, if we get the right amount of rain that cools the surface temperature down a little bit, I feel like, and some of these creeks and drains and stuff flow in and then they settle down a little bit before the tournament, I think that could be a real big deal, just some of the creeks where they drop in. I think because the water will cool off in those areas some, and I think it'll make those fish go to biting. I have noticed in some of those areas there's a lot of shad moving around out in the mouth of some of these creeks and stuff, but they're really not. You can go through there one time a day and graph shad, and then the next time you go through there 3 or 4 hours later, you can't graph shad there anymore. So I think everything is moving, and there's a lot of fish just suspended open water stuff right now.
Right.
I think that's one of the reasons Rayburn's fishing is so tough, is there's just so much bait and stuff, suspended out open water, over deep water.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm like right now, I'm sitting in about 27, 28 foot of water, and I got shad from about 4 foot down to 10 foot.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's what I've been seeing, and I really struggle when things are like that. I have a hard time getting fish locked in on something that I can feel confident and really fish. I end up having to do a little of this and a little of that.
Well, one thing I noticed last weekend for me in practice, like Friday, I had a good day of practice on Friday, and I've actually taken some advice from Albert. I don't throw a hook anymore on tournament pre-fishing, and thank you for that tip, Albert. I appreciate that. But I found some fish on Friday. The wind was blowing pretty good, had a little current, and I found some fish. But come Saturday, there was no wind. I couldn't even buy a bite off those same areas, and I'm like, what the frick? I mean, it just changed so drastically. Wind is so important to me right now. But on Rayburn, you got to be careful what you ask for, don't you?
You do. You'll get more than you want.
Yeah,
absolutely. Exactly.
But I same thing, Steve. I had a really good day on Friday. I told my coworker, I said, dude, put you on some little stuff. We're going to run some fish. It's chasing shad.
Yeah.
I said they're over 8, 9 foot of water down to about 20 foot, kind of on top and on the sides of these drops. I said there's no reason the first couple of hours you and I both can't limit out, and you should have 8 to 10 pounds, and I should have 15, 16 pounds.
Yeah.
And dude, at 10 o'clock, I had 2 keepers, and my co-owner, he never did catch fish.
Yeah.
And I just went to junk fishing. I run a little this, and a little that, and I told him, I said, but and I actually apologized to him before I ever left. I said, we can't stay here because I don't think we're going to catch them. And the stuff that I'm fixing to go do, you're going to be handicapped, to it because it's a one-shot deal.
Right. Right.
And he said, dude, let's go. That's no problem. And I actually had a spot that I thought, well, once I get a limit, I've got a little spot up here that these fish are always at. It's just a little spot that, that they won't be big fish, but there'll be some 2 and 3 pounders there sometimes.
Right.
And they was there Friday, and I told him, I said, look, we go up here, I got this one little spot. I'll give you my rod and reel with a bait on it. I know they're eating. I said, you fire in there and catch you 3 fish, then we're going to go on. I'm going to try to upgrade.
Yeah.
And they weren't there.
Yeah.
I bet you could go over right now and they'd bite.
Yeah.
Now, Now, let me ask you this, Albert. Being a quote-unquote local for this tournament and a tournament of this size, do you like tournaments like this on Sam Rayburn, again, of this size, that it plays both ways, shallow and deep for local guys? Or do you feel like you're better off knowing enough areas that if it's just a deep deal or if it's just mainly a shallow deal, which one would you prefer?
I would prefer, a little bit deeper bite to be a little more consistent.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
It's right now. The way I think about it, it's. I don't think there's a whole lot of local advantage.
Yeah. It kind of levels the playing field right now, doesn't it? With it deep and shallow, it levels the playing field.
It definitely does, because you got a lot of these guys that fish different techniques, and they come in here and fish something like, the guys from up north of us around Arkansas or something like that, or some of the elite guys that come in here that are going to fish this thing and figure out some off the wall little deal that we're not even going to look at. As locals, we're handicapped if things aren't playing to our favor.
Right. Yeah, right.
Because I get pretty one track minded sometimes.
Yeah, we start going off history for sure.
Well,
Exactly.
I've always said late summer, early fall is a time of year when a lot of people, the field is leveled quite a bit because the fishing is so inconsistent, shallow and deep. It can be, and I think that's where the trash fishermen come in and have opportunity to do well in the fall, early fall.
Exactly.
So,
I'd feel a whole lot better if we had two good cold fronts and water temperature drop down in the mid 60s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd be ready to swing on them then.
Well, what kind of weight you predicting, Albert? What is it going to take each day to win this event?
We know it's a long ways off, and there's a lot that's going to happen between now and then.
Right.
Is it over 20 a day?
I don't think so.
Really?
I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's coming from Albert Collins.
I think it's going to be somewhere between 18 and 20 a day.
Well, in my opinion, somebody's going. It's Rayburn. Somebody's going to have that.
Whack a big sack.
They're going to have a 23, 24, 25 pound sack. But I think on day 2 or day 3, that's going to be a 16, 17 pound sack.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 12
Or maybe correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Seriously, you got guys that they're going to catch that one or two big ones, or they're going to have that one day where they do a real solid, equal kind of size bag of fish where they've got five 4-pounders or five pounders, or 4 4-pounders and a 7-pounder or something like that. But I don't see them having 3 days worth of that.
Right.
I might be wrong, but
Well, to me, the wild card in this whole deal, Albert, for you guys fishing that event is, are there going to be some cloudy mornings? If there's cloudy mornings, that's going to be a difference maker for some guys. Whereas if that sun pops up about 7 o'clock, I'm telling you, it got tough on me last Saturday. And even on Friday, it was tough. I did my best shaking after 10 o'clock last Friday. I mean, that's when I seemed to have better bites. But that cloudy morning can make a big difference on Rayburn with a little bit of wind.
It can, and the guys that are fishing shallow will definitely have, that advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I say I'm not going to be. I don't plan on being fishing real shallow, but I don't plan on fishing 30-foot deep either.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to be fishing kind of some mid depths. Is what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of time between now and then to practice, see what this storm does. I think that's going to be the biggest factor of what goes on right now is what this hurricane does when it comes through here.
Right.
Or both hurricanes.
If it drops 8 or 9 inches of rain on us, man, that's going to make a big difference.
Oh, heck yeah.
If we get 2 or 3 inches, that's not going to make a lot of difference.
No. Other than maybe cooling the water down just a little bit.
A little bit, but it's still not going. It's not going to make much difference. I think the biggest difference is going to be if we get enough rain to reverse the lake fall and have it start rising. Then that's going to make the biggest difference of anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Albert, we want to wish you the best of luck, man. We're pulling for you, bud, and we hope you do really well. We thank you for taking time out of your pre-fishing time to be with us and kind of give us a little insight on Rayburn and what to expect. And I can't say thank you enough from me and Kevin. We just appreciate it, man.
Sure, man. Hey, no problem. Anytime. As long as I've got phone signal, I'll stop and talk to you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Albert.
Y'all take care, man.
All right. Albert Collins. One of the best fishermen, one of the best people I know as well. Albert Collins is first-class individual, and he didn't have to take time out of his day to visit with us. I've had some touring pros that refuse to talk to you while they're pre-fishing, and we do appreciate Albert taking time to visit with us and kind of give us a little insight. And it's, actually, Albert made me feel a little better about last week, so he helped my feelings a little bit.
Very interesting to hear him say he don't think it's going to take 20 pounds.
That's
now again. There's a lot to go off of between now and then, but
and it's basically 2 weeks away.
Him kind of going off of how he feels about it right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you a 3-day event, the second week of September. I just don't know if it'll take 20 a day. I don't.
I think a lot of it's going to have to do with, again, how much rain does Rayburn get out of this hurricane system that's coming through, either one of them. Also, does a front come down and maybe cool the temperature down a little bit? I will say that according to some meteorologists, we're expecting an early fall. Walking this morning here, I saw pecans that are already hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And it's late August. I'm like, this is a little early for that. So we are seeing some signs of an early fall already. Some of the leaves are changing in the woods in different places, and that's usually a trigger. So,
but I do agree with him 100%. It will take somebody doing both shallow
I agree.
and deep.
I agree.
I don't think one person will win it all shallow.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's enough fish to hold on for 3 days in one spot out deep.
Right.
I think you're going to have to mix it up. Now, again, weather might change that, but as of right now, looking at it, you're going to have to do both. You might have to mix up a top water to hydrilla to fishing brush piles in 20 foot of water all in one day.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think if you can find those good schools of fish, that there's some schooling action taking place on Rayburn.
Yeah.
Now Saturday, again, the lake was slick calm. The school fish did not exist. They just were down. They stayed down. They wouldn't come up and chase shad. Friday, the school fish were very active, and you could throw in some schools, and sometimes there were some 3 or 4 pounders in these schools, and that could be another thing that comes into play. If the guy gets around the right school and he comes up in front of them, now they don't stay up long, but there's enough in there for 2 or 3 casts, and you can pull a 3 or 4 pounder out of them sometimes, and you get around the right school. So we'll see what happens, and again, Albert Collins is one of the best, and hopefully, local knowledge. And Kevin, we've seen. I know local knowledge hurt me one time on Red River. You want to start here, and then when you start there and it don't work out, you're like, golly, I should have went to that other place.
Well, and
you second guess yourself.
And he hit the nail on the head, and I've done that on Toledo Bend. As Albert's saying, we're going off history. When you've got as much history on the lake as he does there, I do at Toledo, you do at Red River. You go off of history no matter what. Somebody from Arkansas, Oklahoma, as he alluded to, comes in and they do something this time of year that we don't typically do, and that's how they can win it. That is where local knowledge hurts you, and I can see that being a player right now at Rayburn.
You being a drop shot, you're a drop shot guy. I've played with it a little bit. I have not actually thrown it in a tournament, but I'm trying to get better at it. It's one of my goals this fall. Will somebody coming in from the north throw a drop shot and maybe get on the right school? Can you win it on Rayburn with a drop shot?
No, not right now. If it was May, I might say maybe. Or if it was January.
Right.
But not right now. You're going to have to be power fishing. There's just not enough of them out deep, Steve. If there was a whole bunch of them and everybody in the whole tournament was fishing offshore, then I could see something like a drop shot, or better yet, a power drop shot with a bait caster, just a little different presentation. I could see that being more of a player, but with the boats mixing up, going shallow and going deep, and everybody just not pounding out deep, you're not going to have to do those things.
Yeah. Well, again, good luck to those guys. Those of you may be watching and we're tuned in to hear what Albert had to say. If you're fishing that event, good luck to you, and we wish you the best. We'll be covering that event. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably have a couple more guests on talking about Sam Rayburn and what to expect. Other fishing news, before we get to that, again, we want to thank the boat shop out of Shreveport. Make sure you give Raymond a call up there. 3J's 4-Way and Pride Rods, Cypress Knee Outdoors, located inside 3J's 4-Way. And again, Pride Rods does a wonderful job. It's a great product. Check them out. And so now other fishing news. Bill Weidler, he takes an 8-ounce win on Lake St. Clair. And Kevin, this was tight. A little over a pound separated the top 5.
Well, I'll tell you, if you got to watch any of this event, and for all of us down here, if you did not want to get in your truck and go straight to Lake Erie and do some smallmouth fishing for about a week, you just don't understand what goes through our blood. Because, man, I watched a pretty good bit of that live coverage, and, man, just the amount of 3 and 4 pounders they were culling. Especially the Johnston brothers. My goodness gracious.
And there's some contrasting styles on there. John Cox, he went shallow. He was flipping. He was drop shotting.
He was drop shotting shallow.
And but he was dropping. He had current spots that were coming around points and seawalls, and he was hugging those walls, and he did a great job. And so I actually thought him and Clark Wendlandt were the two I thought were going to probably pull that out, but even Jay Yellis was in there for a while, And but it was a great event. I'm like you, I watched a lot of it, and it was just fun to watch. And the competition was real strong. Those kind of tournaments, though, Kevin, they're kind of hard to watch because they're in wide open water, and you just don't see, like, they're not flipping a tree or lay down.
Yeah.
It's just kind of hard to watch.
Well, they're fishing rock. Like they'll troll
underwater
100 yards
and
see one on their graph, and all of a sudden flip over there and fish it.
Right.
So it's different for us. Man, I sure would like to give a few shots at that.
Exactly. If I had some advice for the camera guys, I would love to see you show the if you've got a live view on their screens, show what they're fishing. Show that on screen, so we'll kind of get the fan base will get a better idea. Oh, they got a little rock there with a little grass around it, because we don't know. We can't see nothing. All we see is open water. I did
enjoy watching John Cox shallow, though, with that drop shot.
Yeah.
He didn't get a whole lot of bites, but when he got something, he caught some horses.
He really did. Toledo Bend fishing report. Kevin just come off Toledo Bend and fished a little bit over this past weekend. There was also, you said, a 12-pounder caught?
There was a 12-pounder caught. Let me look it up here. In a club tournament Saturday night. I'll get the names of the individuals. It was the Southwest Bassmasters Open Tournament. Bernard Fruget and Brian Frey had 23.85, won the event with a 12.35 pounder.
Wow, that's a kicker.
That is a kicker. That is a kicker. Yeah. On the weigh slips that I had got sent, the next biggest bass was just under 6 pounds.
Really?
So, yeah. But had some really good weights turned out. But yes, a 12-pounder. See, that's two 12-pounders in a little over a month time span. One out of the Sealy's, and then that tournament Saturday night. Toledo Bend's not fishing that bad. I did go over Saturday, spent most of the day Saturday kind of looking around, and there's a couple little small benefit tournaments and stuff going on. I was thinking about maybe jumping in, and I still might. It is. You can get some big bites right now.
Right.
During the day, you're not going to get a whole lot of bites. There is a little bit of schooling activity going on in the back of the pockets and everything, but they're not consistent. They're not well put together. But you can get offshore around the right structure with a big worm and a football jig, and you can catch some decent fish in the middle of the day right now. You really can. So for late August, it's typically just brutal trying to get bit.
Right.
And it's for Toledo Bend late August. It's not bad fishing right now.
Is any schooling action taking place?
There is. Like I said, in the back of the pockets, there is some schooling going on. The ones I found are not that well put together. There might be 2 or 3 here and one come up over here. They're kind of all over the place, but there is some decent schooling action going on. I think it's getting a little bit better.
Did you find any particular bait that they seem to want? Something small?
I didn't spend enough time doing that. I mostly idled around out deep, and there was some certain structure that I was looking for that I felt like the bigger fish was on. I had one almost 5 that I did catch that, like I said, you're not going to find a big school. I did not find a big school of 30, 40 fish like we do in the summertime or in the fall on Toledo, but you can find 3 or 4, and you can usually catch one out of those 3 or 4.
One thing I noticed at Sam Rayburn last weekend was there was a shad spawn going on, and I mean them shad were about half the size of your pinky. They were little bitty. Them bass would have them bait fish jumping out of the water, and they were real tiny. And actually, there was a guy fishing not too far from me, was catching them every cast. He was throwing a crappie jig, and I was like, "You got to." He said, "I had to go that small to get bit." I didn't have to go that small, but I was throwing top water, and I actually threw the Yellow Magic, the smallest one, in that all-weave color, and they would explode on it. So also a clear top water bait. I caught one on a clear chug bug that was a really good 3.5 pounder. But tournament day, them fish just did not.
Right.
They didn't do anything. So
also real quick, in other fishing news, I want to give a shout out. I know he's watching around. Mr. Dwayne Reese. They had an evening tournament on Sam Rayburn yesterday evening. He had 3 fish for 21 pounds with a 9-pounder. So
that's a pretty good bag.
That's a pretty good bag. I don't know if it's an evening deal. Now here's the thing. I know what he caught him on. Because he caught him on a V&M bait, and he about blew out my stock this morning on my website.
Oh, really?
So, Dwayne, your package is coming. Don't worry, and I'll keep your secret safe.
Yeah, till the next show. Real quick, give you a little MLF update. They are fishing the FLW Championship is going on, and what lake are they at, Kevin? Where are they at?
Sandusky,
Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky. No,
Kentucky and Barkley. is a lake I believe they're on.
No, they're at Sandusky.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Sturgeon Bay.
Sturgeon Bay.
Sturgeon
I'm sorry.
Bay.
Sturgeon Bay. I don't know why I thought they were on Kentucky Lake. But anyway, because I was going to say ledge fish is going to come into play, but it won't.
Yeah.
It won't there. But anyway, one of the guys that's actually leading, Kurt Mitchell, is actually blowing it out of the water right now. He's got over 88 pounds of fish in the boat. They're 45 minutes in period 2 left. So they still got one more period to go. Also, a couple of local guys. James Niggemeyer from Lake Fork, Texas, is also doing pretty well in this event. He's in the top 10, I believe. And also, let's see here. I'm waiting on it to pop up. Lindell Martin Jr. is running about 12th. And so
Now this is the FOW championship.
Right.
It is fished on the MLF style. So they have Group
Yeah.
A and they have Group B going tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's on MajorLeagueFishing.com. So for their championship, they are fishing the MLF format. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how these guys adjust. Never to have fished this format
they've never
before.
done this before. Yeah.
So to see who figures it out and is able to come out top in the end of the week.
Right. So if you want to watch that, MLF is live. It's on right now. And again, they got a whole period left. So if you want to tune in and watch some of this, I highly encourage you. They do a great job of covering this event. Marty Stone and his guys, JT Kinney, they do a great job of breaking the tournament down for you. So also, let's see here. The V&M tournament was canceled or has been canceled, right?
Yes.
We might want to make sure people know that.
We did. We canceled the V&M tournament for the year. We talked about it on a couple episodes ago of Tackle Talk Live, but it was just a lot of stuff went into it. And with all the COVID stuff, along with some scheduling conflicts, some people got scheduled on top of us, not their fault. But it just, long story short, to keep the V&M tournament going strong and not go backwards, we're going to hold off this year and wait to 2021 and make it bigger and better.
Right. Upcoming events. So if you're looking to fish something, Kevin talked about a couple of benefits tournament on Toledo Bend coming up. Do you know any dates on those, Kev?
There's one this weekend. Gentleman out. It's a gentleman from the Marthaville, Natchitoches area. Powell. Last name's Powell. It's going out of San Miguel this weekend, and there's one in a couple of weeks as well, and I forget which one that is.
All right, we'll try to have more information on that.
Just a couple little local benefit tournaments for some local guys. This coming week, I know a lot of my pro staff guys are leaving this weekend, going up to Fort Gibson for the FOW Toyota Series Southwestern Division,
right?
Which will be coming back. They finished their year up on Sam Rayburn October 15th, I believe.
Yes, October 15th.
October 15th. Yep. So good luck to all those guys heading up there. And I know several of them that did well here beginning of the year. Justin Cooper, Cole Moore, so on and so forth, that did well when it came to Toledo Bend. They're going up to Fort Gibson, coming back to finish their year off at Sam Rayburn.
Well, good deal. Look forward to hearing the results of that. Also, ABA Bass Pro Shop Open Series is headed for Lake Texoma, September 12th and 13th. It's a 2-day championship over there, combining the East Texas and South Texas divisions. And maybe some changes occurring for ABA for 2021. We'll let you know when those changes take place. Seedley Big Bass Splash on Lake Fork, September 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's always a big event,
yes.
Kevin.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be a huge, huge event. All the events at Lake Fork this year have been just record-breaking numbers.
Yes.
They're just like us. All the North Texas guys, they're wanting something to fish.
Yep.
You know, they want to get out and go fishing. I think it will be just a record-breaking tournament for them,
right.
As well as Sealy comes back to Sam Rayburn the first week of October, I believe.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah, the first week of October, and I think he's going to have a great turnout there again as well.
Yep. The Cowboy Division of the BFL will have its Super Tournament 2-day championship on Rayburn at the end of September, 26th and 27th. A lot of you BFL guys will be fishing that. It's always a good turnout. And some of these guys are trying to qualify to go to Table Rock Lake, which is where the regionals are located this year. I think we got Bass Champs 2021 schedules out already.
Bass Champs, the new Bass Camp schedule is out. You can check it out online, BassChamps.com. The new Outlaw Outdoors schedule is out as well. They've got all their tournaments put up on their website, so you can check those out. So those two trails we know have released their dates, and waiting on everybody else's to come out.
Yeah. Hey, again, we appreciate you tuning us in. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Tackle Talk Live. Again, want to thank our fine sponsors. We got the Boat Shop, we got 3J's 4-Way, Cypress Knee Outdoors, and Pride Rods. And again, we can't say thank you enough. Coming up next is Kevin's Tip of the Week, and it's on drop shotting, something I need to watch this video. So if you want to continue to catch more fish, you've got to watch Tackle Talk Live.
Hey guys, Kevin here at B&M Baits. I want to take the time today to talk to you a little bit about a very versatile worm we have here at B&M that can be used for several different types of applications. And I personally have really fell in love with this worm. I know a lot of our pros really like it. This is a worm we released last year. It's not new. It's just I want to make sure you're aware of this thing and the different types of things you can do with it. This is the V&M flat tip worm. It's a 6-inch, like a trickster style worm with this flat tip shape on the end of the tail. It gives it a completely different action. This worm comes in the tricolor options. So your like your robo worm type colors, your morning dawn colors, those type of colors is available in this worm. You can do just about anything with it. Very, very versatile. Carolina rig, Texas rig, very good drop shot bait for largemouth here at Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend. Kind of a do-it-all worm, you know. With this action, everybody's used to the worm, the big worms with the tails, the ripple tails, and then your drop shots, your straight like our 6-inch port pin, very good worm, drop shaft, very good worms. But on these pressured lakes, Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, they need to see something different. And that flat tip that's on the edge of that, and get it close enough here so you can see it, gives it a different action along with the different colors that we offer in this flat tip worm. So again, awesome Carolina rigging bait, very good Texas rigging bait, especially now at Sam Rayburn where you got some hydrilla, really good Texas rig bait outside of the hydrilla. Make sure you give them a check them out on the website, bnmbaits.com, the flat tip worm, and I think you'll definitely be impressed with the colors we have, the options we have in this thing, and I know it'll put some fish in the boat for you. Thanks.